Wait, hold up. Did you see this episode? Demon Slayer's going in on it. So let's cut the chatter and get to comparing the anime to the manga. And again, if you haven't watched the latest episode of Demon Slayer, spoilers ahead. The following episode, titled Thank You Tokito, adapted chapters 108 and most of 110. It does have a few pages from 111 and 112, which follows the Upper Moon's attack on the Swordsmith village and our Demon Slayers fighting on different battlefields. And oh yeah, Genya popped out a damn Glock. So let's get into the breakdown and compare it to its manga counterpart to see what was adapted and what was slashed to pieces. The episode titled Thanks Tokito starts out with a quick recap of the last, as per usual, only this time with no Muichiro inner dialogue before he saves Kotetsu. And then we finally catch up to the current chapter 108, titled Thanks Tokito-kun. It starts out with Muichiro saving Kotetsu by slicing the demon. We do get a few anime exclusive scenes, but those were only a few seconds long. Right after the episode would start and we would get the title card. Right away, we do get our first change from the manga panels, showing Muichiro was airborne when he made the slice, but in the anime, his feet never left the ground. Now, I must apologize in advance because for some reason, the episode was a bit harder to follow than usual, but I'll try my best and I've been feeling a little under the weather. Anyways, when we get back to it, we realize that the fish demon isn't dead. Its head actually grew back, which is shocking to say the least. So instead, he slices the pot located on its back and yay, it works, for the most part at least. Kotetsu, who initially hated the Hashira, actually hugged him crying and thanking him for saving his life, which is a bit heartwarming, but he still called Muichiro a slur like the potty mouth he is. But Muichiro is a very busy Hashira and can't stand around talking, which prompts Kotetsu to beg him to help him save the life of Kanamori and Hananesuka, who's also been attacked by demons. At first, he contemplates if it's really worth it, but then he gets a memory of his past showing Kagaya nursing a gravely injured Muichiro, telling him that if he fights to survive, his memories might even return. We get a quick close-up of a shot of Kagaya's face before showing the injured Muichiro. This allows him to spring into action. He flings Kotetsu on his back and runs like the wind. It's funny because I just noticed that Muichiro had a cut on his cheek that wasn't apparent in the manga. Would you look at that, even small details missed me. So, just minor changes from the manga so far. Let's switch over to Tanjiro and see how he's doing. Now, just like Muichiro, his injuries in the manga seem less severe than how they're looking in the anime. If we compare them, you can see blood coming out of Tanjiro's nose. Fortunately, he slices the mini Urogi before it fires off its demon blood art. But this doesn't help us now the demon multiplies. This is where we finally get our first missing panel of both heads regenerating. Instead, in the anime, we just got a close-up shot of Tanjiro's face and then we see the demon appear. They both scream, which is a double hit. Poor guy. But then he's learned something vital. The more the demon splits, the more the powers drop, and now he can resist this one attack. However, it seems that the demon's max is 4 clones who can't split into separate clones themselves. He slices the tongues of the mini clones, which seems to have neutralized them. Now, I really like how the anime illustrated this perfectly, as it blew right over my head when I first read it in the manga. But anyways, in Japan there are 4 primal emotions, which we've already mentioned before and I won't go into that right now. If you'd like to check out more on that, I've made a few videos on Hantengu that are on the channel, so look those up. For now, we'll just move on. While Tanjiro is busy with the mini clones, the big one now sneaks up behind him, which looks a little closer in the manga version. Fortunately, Tanjiro dodges out of the way before the sound wave could hit him. The scenes here are a bit mixed, but pretty much it follows the same path as the manga. We do get a quick shot of Urogi heading in for the kill, and Tanjiro wasn't quick enough to dodge the claw across his shoulder. This part threw me for a bit, due to the sequence of clips, but basically the anime added some extra content to this fight. You see, in the manga, the first time Urogi clawed Tanjiro, this was when he got the 3 claws across his chest. Immediately after, it shows that Tanjiro sliced the demon's face, when it was midway explaining the power of its talons. Apparently, they are so strong they can cut diamonds, which speaks highly to the Demon Slayer uniform's durability in resisting. Tanjiro isn't phased though, as he leaps into action and slashes the demon's head. This doesn't stop it, as now it would try to scream, which is where Tanjiro follows up by slashing its mouth. However, in the anime, Tanjiro gets hit multiple times by the demon, and it's at the very end of this assault that the anime finally matches the manga. When Urogi falls, Tanjiro runs up towards him and strikes. When Urogi takes off once more, this is anime exclusive until we switch back to Nezuko now facing off with Karaku. This is where we get some anime exclusive shots of the room to catch us up with the situation. Aizetsu has Genya impaled, while Karaku is wrestling with Nezuko, who taunts her. But Sekido isn't having it, telling him to hurry up and kill her. While arguing, Aizetsu is trying to finish off Genya. after impaling him. But he finds that he can't remove his spear, which Genya holds tightly in place and shoots him point blank in the face. This is where the chapter ends. Chapter 109, titled Not Dying, starts out with a beautiful cover page of Nezuko in her berserk form, looking all strong and ready for a fight. Unlike before, she still has her bamboo muzzle. Anyways, the actual panels begin with Genya facing off with Aizetsu. But what's going on here? Even though he's impaled through the gut, he still manages to shoot the demon's head again. But wouldn't you know it, Aizetsu will pull the sphere right out, sending blood spraying everywhere before he himself recovers. Now that the spear is out, there isn't anything preventing Genya from dying. Blood sprays everywhere, and the anime goes ahead and gives us this added scene of Genya with both hands down and bleeding out. This would be the midpoint of the episode. When we get back to the episode, we get anime exclusive dialogue of Aizetsu being shocked that Genya is still alive even after all of this. And then Genya starts chanting the Amida Sutra. This is where he takes up his original stance of having his sword across his chest, which was in the manga. The demons start arguing over how to kill Genya and came to the conclusion that they could just smash his head in. But wouldn't you know it, Genya dodges at the last second and catches Aizetsu off guard. Man, he's resilient, still being able to move like that even with his injuries. It's pretty amazing. Maybe he has some kind of healing ability. Maybe so, but before he could land a strike, he gets struck by lightning. But still resilient enough to shoot Sekido, and even Sekido wonders why Genya isn't dying. Aizetsu then lands another hit on Genya, sending him crashing through the wall. The anime gives us a nice shot of Genya face down, which wasn't in the manga. This sends Karaku into a joyous frenzy. He's wrestling with Nezuko and decides he's had enough, so he puts his foot through her gut, which can't be good for the digestive system. That's way too much fiber. But then he does get a bit distracted trying to tell Sekido what to do. The anime gives us a quick shot of Nezuko's face before she kicks his head clean off. Nezuko isn't so easy to put down. She then follows up by throwing her blood and igniting it, and then steal his fan by spinning and twisting her limbs right off. This can't be easy, and plus that must hurt a lot. We get a quick shot of Sekido, and then Nezuko uses Karaku's fan to send him flying. Is it just me, or does this fan look a little bit larger in the manga? Her follow-up attack against Sekido didn't go over so well. He counters her and shoved his staff through her neck, instantaneously electrocuting her, preventing her from moving. We now switch over to Tanjiro, who at the same time is still taking on Urogi, and I'll count these two panels as missing. Urogi swoops down and slashes him across the face, but Tanjiro is much more concerned with Nezuko and Genya's safety. As per usual, the anime gives us different angles from the manga's panels, and the second attack by Urogi doesn't happen in the manga. We're watching these fights at a lightning quick pace, so now we switch over to Genya, and he's still chanting and very much alive. I'll count this white shot as missing, though we still get his dialogue. When Aizetsu asks what is he says his name is Genya Shinakusawa, and fun fact, Shinazu actually means immortal. But this is where the chapter would end, and the whole scene with Genya getting into the right pose was anime exclusive as well, which is cool as Bakugou's voice actor sells it perfectly. Chapter 110, titled Rustle in the Abandoned Shed, starts out with Tanjiro and Urogi. Since his moves are linear, Tanjiro can predict his movements, and he uses this to launch an attack and catches Urogi off guard, stabbing him in the mouth. But the way it played out in the anime made much more sense. Tanjiro had to be running in the same direction as the demon, as he would use his own momentum to springboard and then use the demon to slam into the building. He figured out that the demon is surprisingly light. He sends the demon and himself slamming into the building wall and then busting through, only to see Nezuko being electrocuted. The dialogue of Sekido here was an anime exclusive, but without stopping, Tanjiro launches a head-on attack against Sekido. When the demon retaliates and tries to impale him, he uses the leg from Urogi to block the move. Seems lightning can't pass through the demon's own flesh. It's really nice of the anime to add a detailed explanation of Tanjiro getting Urogi's foot. Tanjiro slashes the demon's mouth, aiming for its tongue, because for whatever reason, regeneration time is slowed down once their tongue is cut. This is where he uses the leg to cut the electricity from Nezuko, who promptly saves him from Sekido's follow-up attack. We didn't actually see him heal himself in the manga, but it's fine either way. Nezuko now ignites the demon, but wouldn't you know it, Karaku is back and launches a massive wind attack that hits both Nezuko and Tanjiro square in the back, knocking them out cold. And man, that must have hurt. I can't imagine the level of pressure this must have been on the human body. But something else that's worrying me even more, does this building have insurance? Well, maybe if they had a company that gives out insurance for demon attacks. But this is Demon Slayer. Wouldn't they normally have something like that? Maybe I'm getting sidetracked. Where was I? Oh yeah, Tanjiro and Nezuko are crushed to death. I'm just kidding, they aren't dead. Now the three clones assemble. It's time to go in for the final blow. Now the manga didn't actually end here. We do have 4 more pages where we check on Muichiro. However, the anime didn't give us these pages. I'm sure they will in the next episode, which is why I won't spoil those additional pages. The anime did continue though and skip all the way to chapter 112 and uses the first panel. The rest of the scenes were anime exclusive. These were just of the demon fish swarming the village and then attacking swordsmiths. Then we backtrack to chapter 111 on the last 2 pages where we see Mitsuri finally heading back to the village. Seems she was stationed near so she can come back and help this fight, which we would greatly appreciate. Thank you so much. This would be where the episode actually ends. Alrighty, a pretty solid episode. Now in terms of numbers, I'll be omitting everything after Tanjiro and Nezuko gets knocked out until I see the next episode. Then we will see for sure if we should add those panels or just removing. We will be working where the anime stopped relative towards the manga. So let's get accounting and see what's happening. Demon Slayer, the Swordsmith Village episode 4, titled Thank You Muichiro, covered 3 manga chapters, each chapter having an average of 17 pages, all adding up to 53 pages. Each page would have an average of around 65 panels, all adding up to 196 panels, with 5 of those panels being unique or not adapted, which means only 194 panels were adapted. Out of all 3 chapters, 97.45% were covered. For this episode, I saw a lot of anime exclusive scenes, which I normally don't cover when it comes on to this type of video. I'm always looking at the differences between this and the manga. But if you'd like a detailed breakdown of the animation and every cut done in the anime, I found a channel called Registry that does a really great job, so you can check them out. I'll pin the link in the comment section for you. Don't worry, got you covered. Let me know in the comments what you thought about this episode and leave me a like on your way out. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It really helps the channel. I've been your host, Kyle. Thanks again for joining. Peace out and stay safe out there, V Nation.